I'm Cindy Nelson.
And I'm Noel Trevino.
And this is Help! I'm an Entrepreneur, a podcast for those who have taken on the challenge of entrepreneurship and who love tips and advice from successful entrepreneurs who have overcome tricky obstacles along the way. Today, I have Noel Trevino, a fitness and nutrition coach who helps transform his clients into competitive athletes, fit moms, and everything in between, leading to healthier lifestyles and achieving their goals. All right, Noel. Well, we have known each other for some time, and when I first started working with you, you were just starting your business with a brand new logo, and then, of course, the new website we built.
Yes.
You've come a long way. Now, it's about 5 years down the road since then. What do you think made one of the biggest impacts in building your business early on?
Okay. Wow. Has it been 5 years already?
Yeah, it's been
I remember when you were my boss, at UNTL Science Center.
Yep.
And so what's made the biggest impact?
In building your business early on?
Well, let's see. If I'm thinking down that road, what event or what did I do that made the biggest impact? I'm going to have to say I just started. Like I was working for you at UNTL Science Center, and I had declined the offer a couple of times.
Yeah,
you remember that?
I remember that. Yep.
I was giving myself time to start, and if there was in my mind, I wasn't ready. That was me getting a job. I wasn't ready, so I can say that just starting and doing it was probably the biggest impact with me starting this career. And because I always made an excuse, I didn't have enough money, I didn't have enough time, I didn't have enough knowledge, and so it's taken the step just to do it. And I would say that was the biggest impact for me in my career and my life is just starting and doing it. And what I mean, and to elaborate on that is you have to make an effort to move towards what you want. And so I guess if I can put it clearly, it's just a mindset to move forward. What
got you over that hesitation, do you think? Because it seems like you hesitated and then something just pushed you to get over that hesitation.
Great question. I had actually someone asked me this the other day, and if I'm being honest, getting fired. So I started my business while I was working there. Yeah. And I was super grateful for you because you allowed me to do both. Yeah. And not have a micromanager. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
they suck. It just sucks. Right, to be honest. I mean, it's just
so
awful.
Man, I was super thankful that you told me, okay, go ahead and still run your business and just let me know if you need some time off. And so working both, and then I get hired in another part of because it was part-time. I got hired in another part of the UNTL Science Center. Mm-hmm. And then I was hired full-time, and I was really scared that I was like, okay, I was excited and scared. So I was like, I was making money, but how long would I be here? Yeah. I really, really wanted to start my training business just because I was tired of people telling me what to do. Not you, but
people.
Yeah, history. Yeah. I have some history. I worked for a lawyer, and I was just, I was just there, and always being told what to do from a lot of different people, not just that scene. But I told myself I want to work for myself. I would never give anyone that power over me ever again. Yeah. So I was real hesitant to actually work for you, but it was a great deal because it gave me enough to get by and kind of move forward in life, mentally, physically, spiritually, and that because I had just graduated college not too long before that, maybe a couple of years. So I was like, what am I going to do with my life? I'm not using my degree. I'm working on a ranch, cutting down trees, and I have a degree. So I just was like, okay, maybe this is a step in the right direction. And I fought really hard to build the business as I was working for you. Mm-hmm. I would training in the mornings, sometimes at lunch. I tried that, and then definitely after work. So the hesitation was, I was like, okay, well, if I'm going to be here, I have to really push because if not, I won't get out of it. Mm-hmm. And what really pushed me into the deep water, Dr. Holmes came up to me, and it was a great experience. Yeah. I'm glad I got to to look at research. I'm glad I got to be around.
All the doctors.
Yeah,
And the students.
because I kind of wanted to go into physical therapy.
Yeah.
But my grades weren't there. I saw how much it cost.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
so
That was a barrier.
I started like questioning myself, like, do I really want to do this? And I'm into pre-care, not post-care.
Yeah.
And so whenever Dr. Holmes came up to me and he was like, we're going to have to let you go because the position is no longer available.
Yeah.
I really looked at it like a blessing. I stepped into it.
You're like, all right, this is my thing.
So the next week, I'm like, okay, crap. Like, I got to start making money here now. And so that was the hesitation was really a push.
Yeah.
I've always been a go-getter, but sometimes I need to be pushed. And that was a push of my life, I feel, you know? Yeah. And so that hesitation took a team.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, I there's always a point like, okay, for me at least, when I get enough money, when I get in this position, I'm going to move forward. That position never came until I got pushed out. Yeah. Not pushed out, but maybe I'll use the word push forward, you know? And
so that was a blessing for you.
No, it helped me. It helped me a lot. I was super thankful. I looked at Dr. Holmes. I said, hey, like, he kept apologizing. I was like, don't feel bad. I said, you did nothing. This is actually, like, it's going to work out, Dr. Holmes. Don't worry about me. And that was it. And so I knew from there, but I had a whole history of learning. Yeah. I was there listening to podcasts all day. I was reading the research that they were pushing through the desk. And I was like, I'm ready. I'm ready. So let me get the opportunity. And, you know, I got one person to train, and that's all I needed. And, you know, my setup was a good setup. I was living at my mother's old home, so I didn't have rent. And, you know, I had a car paid for. So I didn't really have anything major to pay until I got my own place, you know? And that was shortly after, because things like took off a little bit, which gave me enough confidence.
Well, looking back, is there anything that you would do differently in that time? Or do you think that worked out just the way that it should have? What
would I do different? I'm not one to play like, oh, I wish I did that different. I wish I did this different. Just because I am very optimistic. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, this is perfect. Hey, roll with the punches. But what would I have done different? Let's see. I guess I don't think a lot about that. I know what I'd do different when I was 18 years old. I'd work on my credit. I would not buy dumb shoes, and I would not buy clothes, and I wouldn't even buy a new car, honestly. Yep. So what would I have done different during that time? I probably would have took the offer from one of my buddies that was in Houston, and he worked at a sports performance place. I probably wouldn't go work for them to learn how to be a successful personal trainer. When I went out and started personal training, my first job was at the YMCA. Also took another job and just like side money, you know? Mm-hmm. So just trying to make that. Yeah. So if money wasn't involved, and which I mean is a major part, right? Yeah. I would have took an internship and really learned like a structure. And but you know, I'm glad it worked out the way it did because it made me learn. So yeah, and then you're here where you are today. Yeah. It was you know, it's a lot of trial and error. I mean, obviously, you know, you're you're entrepreneur, and I saw you start, and well, no, I take that back. I would have got with you sooner. because you had that structure. Like I had the game plan. How can we make this look professional where people want you instead of sending them an Excel sheet, which is great too. It's not a bad thing. But I think if you're going to grow in that aspect, people want professional looking. And so, you know, I would have probably asked for more advice earlier on professionalism. Like, hey, I have this business. What do you think people are attracted to? And when I sent them that PDF of the nutritional program, a really nice one, and people were like, wow, like this is really nice. I mean, it's really a trademark in who you are, you know? And so maybe in that aspect, like kind of having more structure to begin with, you know, and it makes people feel warm, makes people feel like they want to be here with you, you know?
The nice, crisp branding and professionalism.
And I think that's what I was looking for in a gym. I feel like that professionalism is a structure, then you add your personality to it.
Having professionalism as a structure and adding your personality to it, now that is one thing I loved about this episode with Noel, including his insight about his exit from his position all those years ago as being a blessing and his push into entrepreneurship that he needed. Now, since this is a micro podcast format, because who has time for long podcasts these days anyway, we are very lucky to have him for 5 more episodes to cover entrepreneurial challenges in different areas along his journey. In the next episode, we'll cover challenges Noel faced with what some might consider a toxic gym culture, and how that influenced his first couple of years growing his business. You can find out more about Noel on Instagram. Check him out at Fitness Inspired by Noel, and don't forget to subscribe to our podcast at helpi'manentrepreneur.com for the opportunity to get early access to episodes and to get answers to your entrepreneurial questions from our guests and more. See you next time.